Okay, I'm going to wrap up the show today. This is an old clip, but I saw this the other day and I wanted to play. It's a couple minutes long, but I think every 2 minutes of it is 2.5 minutes, whatever it is worth listening to. I have not seen this clip before, so it's new to me. I don't know if anybody else has seen this out there, but the reason why I want to play this clip is because there was a commencement speech that got a lot of attention last week. Actually, a couple, Jerry Seinfeld's and Harrison Butker, the kicker of the Kansas City Chiefs, where, I hear some people and they leave a lot of the speech out to defend him. They're like, some people are like, what's the matter with what he said with women? What's he say? But, it was more than that. He went after President Biden. He went after the gay community. It was just, and again, I want to make something clear because we did a clip on this last week and I get a lot of comments, from the angry MAGA people who say he has a right to say whatever he wants to. And I want to make clear that I agree with you. He has the right to say whatever he wants to. Nobody's arguing with that. I'm not arguing with that. But guess what? I have the right to respond to what he said. Just like every other American, we can all respond to something people don't like. And, Jon Stewart is back on the Daily Show. And so far, I mean, I've enjoyed when he's on there, but I'm still waiting for him to hit me with that Jon Stewart type segment that I've always seen, that I've loved him for. And I'm not saying any of his segments were bad. I'm just saying I haven't seen the one that, I just go, this is classic Jon Stewart. But there was one last night and you really need to watch it. When I say last night, it was on Monday, the 20th of May. Excuse me. But he was saying a lot of things I have said on this show a million times, is that people keep acting like you're not allowed to say anything, but you clearly are. There are so many outlets for you to say whatever you want. In fact, he played example after example after example of them originally saying, we're not allowed to say this anymore. And then months later, they're saying those exact words they said you're not allowed to say, and they're saying it on national TV. So, this is bullshit that I don't want to hear, but I want to play this clip. This is the governor of Illinois at a commencement speech, J.B. Pritzker. And obviously, because of all the talk everybody has had with these commencement speeches, this is one I saw. And man, I really, 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 really enjoyed this. And I hope you do too.
Spot an idiot. Look for the person who is cruel. Let me explain. When we see someone who doesn't look like us, or sound like us, or act like us, or love like us, or live like us, the first thought that crosses almost everyone's brain is rooted in either fear or judgment, or both. That's evolution. We survived as a species by being suspicious of things that we aren't familiar with. In order to be kind, we have to shut down that animal instinct and force our brain to travel a different pathway. Empathy and compassion are evolved states of being. They require the mental capacity to step past our most primal urges. This may be a surprising assessment because somewhere along the way in the last few years, our society has come to believe that weaponized cruelty is part of some well-thought-out master plan. Cruelty is seen by some as an adroit cudgel to gain power. Empathy and kindness are considered weak. Many important people look at the vulnerable only as rungs on a ladder to the top. I'm here to tell you that when someone's path through this world is marked with acts of cruelty, they have failed the first test of an advanced society. They never forced their animal brain to evolve past its first instinct. They never forged new mental pathways to overcome their own instinctual fears. And so their thinking and problem solving will lack the imagination and creativity that the kindest people have in spades. Over my many years in politics and business, I have found one thing to be universally true. The kindest person in the room is often the smartest.
Boy, I'll tell you, that really hit with me. I thought that that was so great. And, sometimes I even look at speeches like that, I get jealous. I'm like, those is exact words that I think, but the way he puts it and the way he delivered it was just so great and so phenomenal. I also liken this too a lot to what's going on in this country with men. And they always talk about men in this country, and they're talking about, there's a problem with men in this country because they're not men anymore. And I think this is what he was talking about, that there is this weaponized sort of idea of using mean and terrible language as some sort of mark that makes you manly, or it makes you, it makes you like there's a big plan here for men just to act like an asshole. And I personally believe that it's really the other way around. If you want to be a man, that you stand up for people in marginalized communities, or you stand up for people who need standing up for, and you don't put them down for who they are. You don't put them down because they're not like you or they don't sound like you. I remember in high school, there was you always have these factions of, the cool people, the jocks, all that stuff. Well, in junior high school, I remember I was just kind of like I was a guy that had a couple friends here and there. But once I got to high school, I really started to, quote unquote, if you want to call it, get popular. I was funny. I was just going around. I was talking to everybody. I was having a good time, and I got real popular in high school. But I do remember the entire time that, I'm not going to just treat anybody any differently because now again, quote unquote, popular kids were talking to me. I was going to, still just talk and act natural and normal to everybody. The only way I would not act a certain way to you that is on a negative side is if you're just an asshole of a human being. And I don't know why this is so difficult for so many people to understand that, there's two really types of people in this world. It's not black, white. It's not Democrat, Republican. It's not any of that shit. It's cool people and it's assholes. And you know who the fucking assholes are. We all know who the assholes are, and we know who the cool people are. Now, are there times where the cool people can kind of be assholes? Absolutely. Are there times when the assholes can be cool? Maybe every once in a while. But when we're talking about the scale here, the scale of the cool person being the asshole every once in a while and the asshole being the cool person every once in a while doesn't match. If you're the cool person that could be an asshole every once in a while, because I think we all have our moments, but at the end of the day, we know who the cool people are. We know who the assholes are. And I hope everybody that's watching this is the cool person. I hope all the cool people get together in November, vote for Joe Biden, because he has done a fantastic job. I'm tired of arguing with people about how Joe Biden doesn't know where he's at. Joe Biden is ineffective, that he has not done a good job, and that the reason why inflation is high is because Joe Biden is president, even though you can ask them, give me the examples of why the inflation is high because Joe Biden is president, and they can come up with absolutely zero. And just like they can come up with absolutely zero policies of Donald Trump or anything else, the answers that you get as to why you like Donald Trump's because he's hilarious or some dumb shit like that, or he trolls libtards. So anyway, I went almost an hour by myself, which I'm actually proud of myself, but it is time to get into game mode. The Boston Celtics play game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals tonight against the Indiana Pacers. I know you guys don't give a fuck about this, but I do. They played last year in the Eastern Conference Finals. They were down 0-3. They tied it up at 3. Game 7 was in Boston. I got so excited. I flew up there and went to game 7. They got blown out pretty much in game 7. Very disappointing, very heartbreaking. So if anybody's out there, whether you watch the game or not, just please send me some positive vibes, because I am very passionate about my sports teams. Very. And none of my teams have won a championship since 2008. We are now going on 16 years. So I kind of need this, if you guys don't mind. Don't be an asshole. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And we will be back on Tuesday of next week live. The only reason why, again, I'm recording this show tonight is because the Celtics game's on, but no more Tuesday games for the Celtics from this point out. So we will be live every Tuesday. You can also catch Lana Quest on her show, on the Quest Show, on Thursday nights. She'll either pop in live or she'll do a recorded show. Sometimes she doesn't have the chance to do it. She's a very, very busy woman. Has a great family, so she spends a lot of time with them as well. But thank you guys for watching this, and we will talk to you guys again soon.